Oh, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everyone doing? Today we're going to be carrying on Final Fantasy XIV. We're just about done with 6.0. Just have to do post-credit stuff. And then we'll start with 6.1. So I'm going to start recording immediately. I'm going to delay. So this is the, the credits have rolled for 6.0. I now need to talk to everyone. So, recording in 3, 2, 1. And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be doing the post-credit story stuff for Final Fantasy XIV. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So the credits rolled, and unfortunately my recording corrupted. And we're now back at the Rising Stones, so we need to talk to everyone here before we can start the 6.1 story. So let's talk to Kryl first. Oh, Mithrie, how are you feeling? Any lingering aches or pains? I can't apologize enough for sending Xenos to find you in Ultima Fall. When he came to me in Shardian, I was truly torn. As ever, there was only one thing in his mind. Forced to make a decision, I reasoned that if he would not be deterred from seeking you out, he might at least aid us in our cause. And so I struck a bargain. In the end, he was true to his word, and you defeated him despite your earlier exertions. But knowing the state you were found in, it could have ended very differently. My decision almost cost you your life, and no words could express the remorse I feel. It worked out, you did the right thing. I won't lie, I thought that it was it for me. It is a relief to hear you say that, thank you. Time and time again, I've been made to feel woefully inadequate. I wasn't much use in battle, nor could I face the forum without my nerves getting the better of me. It always fell to you and the others. I must and will do better. And I shall begin the restoration of the students of Baldassian. Through our work, Shardian will strengthen its ties with other nations, that we may be better prepared to face whatever threats arise in the future. Of course, this isn't something I can accomplish alone, but thankfully I have the staunchest of help in Raha and Ojika and others remaining members. Together we'll continue Grandfather's work. As before, certain commissions will take us to dangerous locales, and we may need to call upon seasoned adventurers. In such times, might you be willing to assist us? Not because you feel obliged, mind you, but because you feel allured for the task itself. Yes. Marvellous. Should something of interest arise, I shan't hesitate to reach out to you. Until that day, I shall endeavour to become a more dependable comrade. Okay, let's talk to Alpha Node. Oh, Mithrie, pray forgive me for delaying the gathering. I was writing a letter, you see, to my parents. As busy as Father has been, tending the aftermath of the Exodus, he has been good enough to show concern for the Scions. And besides, I've made them worry enough for a lifetime. Henceforth, I will endeavour to write as often as I am able. A little effort to set their minds at ease while we continue to be away from Shardian. Both Elise and I are off to assist with Garlemald's recovery, you see. Though uncertainty remains over what will become of the nation, we cannot well leave the capital in the present state. We will rejoin those members of the Isobard contingent still stationed there. Lucia and Maxima helm the relief effort, and with support from our allies, the people of Garlemald among them. It will gradually be joined by those who have finished treating the tempered across the lands. Lest you misunderstand, we do not seek redemption for failing Lucinia and her sister. That is a burden we must always bear. Nay, we go because of the truth in Lord Quintus's words. The truth that whatever ideals individual may expose, nations are not moved to action unless they stand to benefit. For the foreseeable future, the fallen empire will be at the mercy of both internal and external forces. And though I do not doubt the intentions of the contingent, with greater powers involved in the release effort, our allies may well find themselves drawn into a political agenda. In going, we seek to ensure that the needs of the people come first. To understand their hearts, that we might help better them to begin anew. You best write me too. I'll visit when I can. Write you letters, of course. I would be glad to do so. But I would be gladder still were you to come and visit, and I believe I speak for Elise as well. For fairly as long as I've been in Eorzea, you've been at my side, watching over me in good times and in bad. How many times have we gathered to share tidings? None could possibly keep count. The world is changing and will continue to do so, yet no matter what the future brings, I hope I can ever look to you. In good times and in bad, as a dependable comrade and dear friend both. Thank you, Mithrie, from the bottom of my heart. Alright, let's talk to Elise next. So, Mithrie, seen to your preparations, have you? I'm just making another sweep of my belongings. Wouldn't do to find I've forgotten something halfway to my destination. Oh, in case you hadn't heard, we've received new reports detailing the devastation caused by the final days. It appears the situation is gravest in the land surrounding the Bounty, where the sky first began to burn. After that, the calamity was observed in far north, in Garlemald, and in the frozen lands beyond. We also had reports of the heavens catching fire in isolated locations, one of which was an area in the northern Empty. Had our quest taken any longer, Sharlayan too may have come under threat. Thank goodness it's over now. To be sure, blasphemies and lesser beasts may still be roaming about, but these localized crises should be well within the capabilities of each nation to handle on their own. The science are no longer needed. Which isn't to say that we won't help out where we can, of course. As individuals, no more of this order business. For my part, I'll be heading to Garlemald with Alpha Node. They were among the worst affected and still need all the help they can get. It won't be easy. An inevitable part of aiding those in need in coming face to face with tragedy. Knowing it doesn't make any sense so, that I'll curse my weakness, my inability to fix every problem and save every lost soul. But no matter how much it hurts, I won't give up. I'll do what I can for as many people as I can, begrudging no effort. And should I find myself discouraged, I'll remember you. Think back fondly to one of your many moments of triumph and the accompanying determined expression. Even those that still annoy me in retrospect, like you when you activated the teleporter without warning. And should you hear about me, I want you to remember too. To remember that I'm out there somewhere trying my very best. I look forward to hearing all about the legendary Elise Leveleur. I think you can keep up with me. Not that I'm trying to become famous or anything. That being said, the next time we meet, I'll be vastly improved, so don't be surprised when you find yourself marveling at me. Okay, now let's talk to Urianger. Now, Mithrie, thou hast spoken with our comrades. Though this parting be not forevermore, 'tis nonetheless occasion for sorrow. Akin to a pixie's path, the navigation of such farewells is a perilous endeavour indeed. Thereupon, however, the Loporrits embark upon a new beginning. Though bereft of its purpose as a vessel, the moon yet remaineth hospitable for the creatures of Aferis. Thus do our lunar visitors convene with the Forum, intent upon assigning some new and beneficial role to our solitary satellite. Yet, ere that may come to pass, there is much and more each party must learn of the other, a process which doth promise to be eventful indeed. To that end, a cadre of Loporrits have gleefully dispersed across our lands in the name of mutual understanding. Hydaelyn, 'tis said, did imbue them with her love for all things born of this star. And 'tis Vanat's own nature, I believe, which doth manifest in this irrepressible, inexhaustible courtesy of theirs. Having witnessed that which strove to achieve, I wish most keenly for their long labours to be rewarded, that their abiding affection for man result in a boon for all. Moreover, I hope to continue our acquaintance and share in such knowledge as they see fit to impart. Acquaintance? I'd like to call it friendship. You are the first truly to understand them. Dost thou think so? The Loporrits are certainly possessed of a unique outlook, and have been my pleasure to act as their facilitator upon this star. Mayhap I might serve as a bridge betwixt them and our fellow man, as Moonbreeder once did for me. But I shall digress no further. This day should belong to the signs of the Seventh Dawn. To mine incomparable companions, oft times have mine retinence caused thee grief, mine actions spurred allies to suspect betrayal, and yet here amongst you I still stand. No amount of words could express my gratitude for thine acceptance and forgiveness. Thus instead I do proffer my humble support. To be it unto the deepest abyss or the highest heavens, even if I must needs thunder cross stormy seas, ever shall I answer thy summons. Cool. Alright, next one. Let's talk to Thancred. So, champion and savior. I was beginning to think my chance for an audience would never come. That sounded more amusing in my head. Speaking of heads, I was worried about yours, and the rest of you, for that matter. On the mend, I trust. Glad to hear it. You were in a bad way, and healing magics or no, I'm impressed of how swiftly you recovered. Then again, 'tis hardly the first time you cheated death. Your strength of will has never failed to astonish me. Look at what you've accomplished. Mitoyan defeated, her Song of Oblivion cut short, the source of all her reflections delivered from the final days. If you had faltered at the last, then all hope would have been lost, but you held fast. Now Rin has a tomorrow to look forward to, and I could ask for no greater gift than that. As for a lesser gift, however, the next time you see her, I would appreciate you not describing my travel plans with Urianger as aimless wandering. We've a purpose in our roaming after all, keeping an eye on things in the absence of the science on the world stage. There'll never be an end to the little problems that go untended by nations. We will do our best to help out where and when we can. Which I suppose is an approach not far removed from aimless wandering when you get down to it. Perhaps you could tell her I am faring well and leave it at that, eh? No need to mention this feeling of being uprooted. I've never been one to stand still for long, but when I think of home, 'tis the rising stones which comes to mind. How many times have we set out from this base, thence to return when our work was done? On the days of the Scions come together, I only hoped for Mithrie to find a place where she belonged, but never did I expect to find one here for myself. Indulge me, Mithrie. I have a question for you. I'd imagine Mithrie herself is asking. Are you glad you joined the Scions? Best decision I ever made. There's never been a dull moment, that's for certain. I can honestly say the same. But all good things must come to an end, at least for a time. Should you need a helping hand for infiltration or reconnaissance, you know who to ask. I'll come running and you'll likely get a certain fun-talking fortune teller into the bargain. Alrighty, let's talk to Justinian. Doing a blinking contest or what? He lost. If you have something to say, then out with it. Just worried how you'll earn your keep now. Just wondering how I'll earn my keep now. Well, I thought you adventurers had any number of ways to earn coin. And though the Scion's mode of operation has changed, we should be compensated as before. In any case, I do not want for options, even if some are worse than others. No sooner did Aymeric hear about our disbandment, than he offered me a position as a guardsman in the Empyreum district. As a former Azure Dragoon, I'm guaranteed to be popular, he said. Who does he take me for? Even without his meddling, I'm perfectly capable of finding employment, and have. Some days ago, a Hannish envoy arrived with a word from Vitra. The one requests my presence as soon as things have settled here. He didn't deign to mention why I'm needed, but it pertains to dragons, like as not. In Favnir, like elsewhere, the phenomena caused by the final days abated when you defeated Matoyan. Though it was too late for those who had already transformed, life is beginning to return to normal for the survivors, while those who sought refuge in Sharlayan must have already returned home. But many do not have a home to return to, nor loved ones. By an arrangement between Vitra and the Forum, such souls may remain in Sharlayan if they wish to work and study. Now, Vitra was always a satrap in truth. It's gratifying to see him become one in name as well. One who has the complete confidence of his people, if the envoy's tone was any indication. I often find myself speaking favourably of dragons of late. Not so long ago, I would have assumed his benevolence had ulterior motives. 'Tis clear that he cares for his people, and they in turn revere him. To know such a nation may flourish is comforting. Vitra's kin sought to release from conflict. So weary were they of the suffering it wrought, they surrendered to oblivion. But Mikasoma didn't give up, in hope that he made the journey to distant Etheris with his clutch of eggs. And though his progeny went on to be embroiled in conflict with men, There were times when they transcended hatred to abide in harmony. That is their legacy and their triumph. In my lands, I feel the weight of their struggle and the strength of their resolve, and it lends me strength. These things I might never have learned had I not joined you. Should you ever have need of me, I will come. At the very least, it might be an opportunity to earn coin. Cool. Alright. Let's now talk to... Let's save actually Y'shtola to last. Let's talk to Grahatia. Oh, Mithrie. Might you have a moment to talk? With the Scions stepping away from the public eye, I've been left to consider what new endeavours I might pursue. And after speaking with Kryl, I've decided I will be assisting her in rebuilding the students of Baldassian. Not only am I indebted to Master Galuf for giving me a new home, but had our order never existed, I would have never set a foot within the Crystal Tower. How different my life might have been. I would never have met you, never become caretaker of the tower, never become a Scion. You gave me the chance to do so much good, and I hope to continue to do so with the students. For an added benefit, new mysteries often find their way to our doorsteps, mysteries that could prove ideal for fulfilling our promise, to embark on a new adventure together unlike any we've experienced before. Huzzah! Whenever you have the time and inclination, my friend, I stand ready to accompany you onto the unknown. Do you recall in the realm of the Omicrons, when I asked if you thought I may someday be mentioned in your epic? While it is true that to earn a place at your side would be the stuff of dreams, in the end, nothing would give me greater joy than to stand with you in the here and now. It needn't be some grand endeavour, there needn't be a promise. Whenever adventure calls, I won't hesitate to invite you, and I hope that you will do the same for me. Without a second thought, as long as you don't overexert yourself. I'll hold you to that. As much as we have already seen, there's still so much we haven't. Who knows, perhaps we will even encounter survivors of the Omicron somewhere out there. After all, given how they took to the stars, it isn't implausible that some found themselves far from home. And should we encounter a wayward traveller awaiting commands, that will never come. I would bid them seek adventure with someone, and with that partner find a new purpose, a new dream. For if crystals can hold fast to dreams, why not Omicrons? Wherever your plans may lead, do not hesitate to send word, and should a commission of interest come my way, you'll be the first to know. Alright, then last but not least, Y'shtola. Yish. Oh, are we saying our farewells too? I hadn't at present planned on a journey of any great length. Not that I am adverse to a moment or two of quiet reminiscence. In fact, there was something I'd been meaning to ask you. Something that had been in my thoughts since the last flames of the final days subsided. During our travels, we have witnessed more than a lifetime's worth of oddities and spectacles, more than can easily be recalled or remembered. And nestled amongst those memories are certain essential facts. The history of Aferis and the ancients, glimpses of the EA, of their culture and philosophy. Rather than simply hoard such treasures in mine, I wonder if I should not be disseminating them in formal records of wider consumption. When needed, I have penned reports and prepared briefings, but ever have I barked at the idea of binding the subject of my studies in a book or a tablet. Truth be given shape in interpretation, when we seek to capture it with our words, it is invariably molded to fit a narrative, no matter how well intentioned the rendering. An event is described as sad, a summation which fails to express the emotional complexity, yet the word on the page is what endures, a pale shadow of reality. Throughout history, some have deliberately embellished the truth, but I believe many, if not most, deviations are the result of similar linguistic shortcomings, piling upon the other until the end result is unrecognizable from its origin. Which is why I fear that writing an account in my own words would be akin to diluting fine wine with water. Yet, even with the potential for corrupting meaning, I do of course realize the importance of keeping written records. Without them, my search for wisdom would be a painful affair indeed. But what say you on this matter? Should I take up the quill, reflect upon those whose experiences only we have shared, and seek to preserve them on patisserie? I don't know what the word means. Aye, let them be read and remembered. Very well then, I shall endeavour to pen what I can of the EA and the ancients and of so many wonders. But I am no scribe. It will be less a polished work and more a reordering of scattered notes. In any case, I feel much better for having sought your opinion. Left to our own devices, we tend to overthink such things. I will otherwise return to following where my curiosity leads. After all, a safe method of travel to the first yet eludes me. And our venture into the great expanse has prompted an entirely new set of questions. Should you stumble upon the unknown or struggle with some impenetrable mystery, know that I am at your beck and call. It never hurts to see things from a different perspective, and mine is rather different than most. Fair enough. Okay, so we've finally spoken to all of them. So now let's talk to Tataru. So I've spoken your fill, have you? If so, I'm thinking to send everyone off. Leave the Rising Stars? Sure. With your permission, then. Your attention, please. At risk of spoiling the mood, the time of departure is upon us. In my capacity as your receptionist, I bid you all safe journeys. Till next we meet, be well. Cool. So we'll get the wind-up Helios, the Argos horn, and 2 orchestral rolls.
I suppose we're off to Garlemald then. Though we ought to speak with Lord Emmerich first. If he's received word of any recent developments, we need to know.
'Twould be prudent to purchase some warmer clothes at least. Mayhap we can pick up a few souvenirs for Euless and the others while we're at it.
Where will you all be heading next?
Dravania. There is a book I've been meaning to borrow from the Great Google Library. And I can think of at least one person who will be most displeased should I fail to visit before leaving.
We've no particular destination in mind, but we do intend to stop in Sharlayan before we set off.
We had thought to ask after the Loporrits. I am curious as to how well those who chose to remain are adapting to their changed circumstances.
Might we accompany you then? Raha and I were planning to return to the Baldessian Annex.
Commissions have been piling up in our absence, and they must be dealt with ere we begin our work in earnest.
Estinian, you will return to Radzat Han, will you not?
Aye. For Vritra's benefit, though I've yet to hear the details. I may not stay long.
I see. Then it is here the Scions at last part ways, each to some far-flung corner of the realm.
Perhaps. But I believe one of our number, a rather important one at that, has yet to divulge her plans.
Well, you know, you can subscribe to my 6 YouTube channels.
Quite right.
My gaming news,
Indeed.
my Let's Play channel,
Fair point.
my vlog channel.
So, what's next for our humble adventurer?
My finance channel. And my main channel. Fair enough. So that's the end of Endwalker. Yeah, stand tall, my friend. Our journey will never end.
The constancy of this place never ceases to amaze me. An ocean of souls, shimmering and eternal. And yet, something stirs. Yes. Steeped in darkness, deep as starless night. The beast hungers. Alas, I dare not investigate in earnest before the coming of my guiding star, as she foretold. We shall descend to the depths, you and I, to confront the dread beast Pandemonium. Oh, the sights we shall see.
But you have completed the main scenario quest. Endwalker quests to unlock new content have now become available in Ulcharian. Additionally, you may now enter the dead ends with your party of NPC avatars. Use this feature to open the trust system. Rest well, champion of Aferis, for many and more adventures await you. Interesting. Alright, so let's see if I can change my title at least. So I've been using the Shadowbringer title for a long time. Is there one that is called Endwalker? Let's sort by name. I have a lot of titles in this game. There you go. Endwalker Mithrie. Alright. So, I apparently failed to equip it. So, anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. And as always, goodbye from me. And goodbye from Mithrie. Bye, guys. Alright. Hello! How is everyone today? Didn't I, like, I selected it and I pressed apply and I pressed yes and it still didn't equip. It's like, whatever game. I don't have time for this. Endwalker. Sav. There we go. Okay. Endwalker Mithrie Metaphil. FFXIV 6.0, episode 1643, story 52, Endwalker finale. But yeah, you press discard changes. Oh, I did? Oh, whoops. That's so me. That was 35 minutes. You know, it's like it's a good thing. Like by coincidence, when my dad got here on was it Saturday, my thing just crashed. You can check the rewind. Yeah, I wasn't even looking. To be perfectly honest, I just wanted to get it done because I felt like we'll say that 6.0 was a drag, an absolute drag. Now we've got 6.1 and Expert Dungeons. Cool. So take a little break and then we'll start the 6.1 story. So yeah, so guys, did you hear the news about Square Enix that they released this morning? Oh, by the way, now that the fasting is actually finished, I'm going to re-enable the, what's it called? The rewards. So hydrate will be come back on, and then yeah, just hydrate. Maybe do push-ups? Nah, I do exercise on my own. So look, I can hydrate. Because fasting is done. Yay. Stand up and stretch. Alright. Yeah, I saw your news. Yeah. I didn't react well to that news because I feel it weakens Square Enix as a company. Because, for example, it would be like me selling every game I have. Let's say I sell my PlayStation 5. I sell my Nintendo Switch. Thanks for the resub, Forgive. I appreciate you. I sell all the games I have. And I put all of my eggs in one basket in terms of, yeah, I'm gonna... Oh, sorry. Is it too low down? You can't actually see the resubs. Put it there. I put all of my eggs in one basket to be like, that's it. I'm all in for Final Fantasy XIV. And I've got lots of cash, so therefore I'll be able to do it. It's like that, basically. It's like, fine, they got some money for selling all these studios, but people are already making fun, sorry to say. They're making fun of Square Enix. They're not saying, congratulations, Square Enix, you got lots of money. Instead, they're saying, wow, so they kept Outriders, they kept Just Cause, and I like Life is Strange, and they kept Life is Strange, and they sold everything else. So, but like, they kept two terrible IPs in exchange for selling off Tomb Raider. They sold off the studio that made Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the best games that Square Enix released recently. And the Tomb Raider remakes are amazing. So it's like, yeah, let's sell those off and keep the games which are failing. It doesn't make any sense. So, and what I said as well before, many times, is I feel the decisions that they're making lately is they're desperate for cash, unfortunately. I think Square Enix is desperate for money. So they've handed in one of their cards. It's like, yeah, let's sell Tomb Raider. It's like, maybe they don't understand what they've given up by selling Tomb Raider. They've sold an IP which probably will generate billions over the next couple of decades. So, for a measly 300 million. So, yeah, it's not... It's when I read it, it's like this is so bad. Especially when they said that they want to focus on blockchain and AI technology. I was sort of like, again, and I'll say it again, I've said it several times before, I'll say it again, read the room. It doesn't matter if blockchain and NFTs, whatever, turn out to be the cleverest technology in the world. No gamers want it. Therefore, so many people are going to boycott anyone who tries to push it. And they're going to lose a lot of money. So, and because they weaken themselves by selling their IPs, it means that 300 million is going to disappear. And then what they're going to have? Fine, they're going to have Final Fantasy. You know, they're going to still have their biggest IPs. But that is not enough to sustain the company. And as soon as there is any weakness when it comes to Final Fantasy, that's it. Goodbye, Square Enix. You know, and if they keep on with this campaign of you're not allowed to stream this, you're not allowed to stream the ending, you're not allowed to stream that, then like I've already said, if Forspoken have that, if Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 has it, if Final Fantasy 16 have it, I'm not going to stream any of those games. And I think a lot of people like me are going to be in exactly the same position, because we can't, this is what we do for a living. We can't play a game that's at risk of being taken down, because it risks everything else we do. So, like, it doesn't make any sense. It's sort of like, yeah, play this game, but if you do all the way to the end, you might get fired. It's like, no, how about I won't play the game? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. So, but, I mean, that's my feeling of it. I think it was a big mistake for them to sell it for such a cheap price. If they sold it for, like, 2 billion or something, that's fine. But they sold it really, really, really cheap. Because they sold Tomb Raider, they sold Deus Ex, they sold some other IPs, they sold Crystal Dynamics, they sold Eidos Montreal, who makes lots of games for Square Enix. They're selling one of their own studios, Square Enix Montreal as well. They're selling everything, you know, all the Western studios to have an influx of cash. Cash runs out. So, like, it's better to have the IP. Like, if I owned the Tomb Raider IP, believe me, I will never sell it. Like, simply, I will let the company shut down and let the IP become part of the bankruptcy settlement. I will never sell it. Because when you compare it, for example, to, like, Sony and Spider-Man, like, Marvel have come along and said, we want to buy Spider-Man back and get it back into the Marvel Universe. And Sony have said, okay, we'll sell it to you for $100 billion. So, like, IPs are so valuable. Like, selling off studios, whatever. Selling IPs is a big thing in my opinion. I would not sell an IP, especially for like Tomb Raider, which has had a what's it called, like 20+ year legacy. It's had 20 years to mature. Like, every gamer knows who Lara Croft is. So yeah, is Lara Croft really worth, let's say, 100 million out of the 300? She's worth a hell of a lot more. So, like, for example, Nintendo will never sell Super Mario, the IP of it. Like, could you imagine, even if Microsoft came along and said, we'll give you $100 billion, Nintendo, we want Super Mario as part of Xbox, Nintendo would never sell it. So, like I said, but that's my feeling. That's why I said in the gaming news that we'll see what is next for Square Enix. I think they're playing a very, very dangerous game in terms of business. I think it's so awful. I think it's so bad. And it's relying on this idea that the Eastern games or the Japanese games are the best way and only way for the company to go, as well as blockchain and NFT technology. It's like, are you kidding me? So, like, I think we as Western gamers should take that as an insult. not as a good thing. Now, there are some Square Enix fanboys out there who think that Square Enix focusing on Japanese-style games is a good thing. And I'll say that you are so narrow-minded and you're living 20 years in the past. Basically, the world is so small now because of the internet and so on, that if companies in the Far East don't embrace Western games or Western types of games, they won't survive, and vice versa. So yeah, but that's my opinion. So let me go over to you, chat. What do you think, chat? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? I personally think it's a bad thing. That's Square Enix are selling Tomb Raider. I think that's a big, big mistake. Oh yeah, I can fly in the sun. I don't care about Tomb Raider. Ah, fair enough. But yeah, so when I was reading, because I was reading the trending tab, and quite a few people were making fun of Square Enix. They weren't saying congratulations, good sale or whatever. They were like, and they were all like, ooh, ah, you know, like with PlayStation taking over Bungie. They were like, Square Enix, you're a bunch of flipping idiots. That's the thing. I'm just flying around randomly while we chat. I know 6.1 probably starts in the Rising Stone. But yeah, like I said, I really think it's a big mistake. Because Guardians of the Galaxy was amazing, right? Like, for us who played it. But, you know, like, it's strange they would give that up. Let's see. Well, it will keep it safe on blockchain, unless the buyer wants that as well. Yeah, now the thing is, Embracer Group, you might know them as THQ Nordic and so on. They own 120 studios. So it will disappear, basically. The Embracer Group is the buyer. Embracer owns 120 studios. So to put it in perspective, Microsoft own like 30 to 40 studios. Embracer Group own 120. So Japanese companies care more about the Japanese market than the Western market. Yeah, but it's sort of like I don't know if anyone, like, any Japanese people watch my stream, but do people in Japan care about NFTs and blockchain technology? Like, I need to do more research about that. Like, is it a thing in Japan? I haven't heard anything, but, you know, I don't have any Japanese friends, so. Well, I think it's a big risk, and I think it's a big thing. It's not worth. It's like, overall, when I weigh the pros and cons, I think it's a big mistake. If they sold it for like 2 billion or something, fine. You know, that I would have even put that in the gaming news. I would have said, well, at least they got lots of cash. But 300 million for what they sold, when every other acquisition lately has been billions and billions and billions. Like, how much did PlayStation pay for Bungie? Let's take a look. PlayStation acquires Bungie. For $3.6 billion. That's how much PlayStation paid for Bungie. 3.6 billion. So now I know that they didn't sell off Square Enix in its entirety. It's just some of their studios, you know, I get that. But still. And the other thing as well is that Embracer Group have assets in the tens of billions. I think when I looked on Wikipedia, Embracer Group have something like $35 billion worth of assets. So 300 million to Embracer Group is loose change. It's not even a tax write-off to a company that size. To Square Enix is probably everything. But yeah. Now, because one thing is, as well, is I read the announcement from the board of directors from Square Enix about ratifying the sale. And the board of directors of Square Enix actually gave the power to the CEO to make this deal happen. It is unusual for that to happen because the whole point of a board of directors is to scrutinize and question absolutely every decision the senior management team is taking. Not to give the senior management team power to do whatever they like. You know, so... Like, even when I worked at a college. It's a college. Like, they weren't making that much money. But they had a board of governors, which is equivalent to a board of directors, and they held the principal and vice principals to account. Like, they questioned everything they did. They had different committees for even the littlest things. So, and officially, the senior management team were not even members of the governors. They had to go to all the meetings because the governors were told them to account. But ultimately, the governors would have the final say, yes or no, about what would happen. So that's why I found it odd when I read the idea that the board of directors of Square Enix gave the CEO power to do whatever he liked. So, but I obviously don't know how the rules are in Japan. It's like, I feel like the whole point of a board of directors is to scrutinize and to whatever, everything to the nth degree. Is it good? Did you get enough value? Is it right? Like, will it help us in the long run? Blah, 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 blah. And it should have been the board of governors, or board of directors who make the decision. So, but, again, I wasn't there. You can only read the minutes of the meeting. So, but whatever. Like I said, we'll see in the future what it means, and there could be something deeper to the whole narrative. We don't know. So, for example, maybe they're ditching all the Western studios so that they can sell the Japanese business to PlayStation. Like, maybe there's some legal thing that says that they can't sell an international business in Japan. Again, I don't know Japanese law. That could be another angle of looking at it. But I've been saying for ages now, you know, how many times have I said it on stream? This idea that it feels like Square Enix is strapped for cash and they are trying to boost up their share price. I did say that more than once, right? So in a way, I wasn't surprised when I saw this announcement, but I just feel it's really grossly undervalued. I really, really do. So, now, if we try and draw any positives from this, positives are they can concentrate on their established IPs, like Final Fantasy, for example. So they can put their focus on 16, on 14, and 7 Remake, and all this other stuff. But the problem is, when they mentioned blockchain and NFTs, it means some of that 300 million is going to be burned, as far as I'm concerned. It's going to be wasted. So, which is a real shame. And it, like I said, it devalues Square Enix as a company completely. Like, it might actually, let me actually take a look. Share price Square Enix. Okay, so their share price is, to be fair, their share price is, it's not diving, it's going down, it's not going up after this announcement. Share price, Embracer Group. And Embracer Group's price is going, yeah, it's up. So, yeah. that should be an indication as well that this was a bad deal for Square Enix. This is a really bad deal. So, like, having in 300 million cash in this day and age for gaming companies is loose change. It's absolutely nothing. Embracer Group did a good... Embracer Group, congratulations Embracer Group, they did a good deal. Square Enix, you did a terrible deal. So, yeah. Like I said, if you look at the share price of Embracer Group right now, it's literally like... So... Which is... So I'm not, you know... I'm not the only one who feels this way, that this was a bad deal for Square Enix. The market is saying the same thing. It means that people right now will probably be buying Embracer Group shares. They would not be buying Square Enix if you only could choose to buy one and not the other. And guys, you don't have to take my word for it, just Google it yourself. Share price Square Enix, share price Embracer Group. So... but yeah, like, in the grand scheme of things, who cares? You know, it's like, as long as we're just here to play games, right? But sometimes when I see these headlines, I'm just sort of like... Because, you know, I hate bad business. In all of its forms. I hate it. It doesn't matter if it's a business deal between a family member and their, like, landscaper. Or if it's an international broker deal between countries. I just, you know, I react to both of them. Hey, Mithrie. Hey, what shall I call you? Shall I call you Rocast? Shall I call you Zero? Anyway, let's think about the 6.1 story now. There's no wrong answer, chat. Just, like, let me know what you think. You're not going to offend me. It's not me. It's not my company. Oh yeah, I didn't even learn this stuff. I don't know. Zero is fine. I've been watching your content on YouTube for a long time. Oh, hello. Welcome. I have since diversified. I've now got many channels. I've got so much to do because the 6.0 story was really, really long. If I can finish 6.1 today, then I'll... actually, it probably won't be today because it's already 4:30. But if I can finish it by tomorrow, then I'll go back and try and platinum Resident Evil 2 Remake. But I've got enough videos now for 14, where a new video for 14 will come out every day for the next couple of weeks at least. I try and release them once a day. Like, today's video is the Labyrinthos Aether Current Guide. And I've started work on the bringing the 14 content to my website, to mithrie.com. Subscribe to all your channels, and I've been watching all of them. Oh, I appreciate that. Well, let me give you some MP then. Give... Broadcast... 0 and 1,000. Did I spell your name right? I might have spelled your name wrong. So what? Let me copy paste. I did. Okay. Oh, it's an O, not a... A 0, not an O. Okay. So, give... I'll type. Give... 10,000. There we go. That worked. So yeah, when I do giveaways, I can just find the rise of 2% share price for Square Enix. Okay, and then what's the rise in share price for Embracer Group? Like, I just typed it into Google, Don. But yeah, like I said, I'm curious what is next for the narrative, and all it means really is that I'll have to like contact Embracer Group to get a copy of the next Tomb Raider when it's ready to be released, because I want to play it regardless whether it's Square Enix or not, because it's still Crystal Dynamics. So yeah, so I said my concern is not Embracer Group. My concern is Square Enix did a bad deal, and it feels like a desperate need for cash, that they need the money. Oh really? But this is what I mean by people making fun. Because what I said in the gaming news today was the fact that the latest Tomb Raider movie grossed 275 million on its own. Now, of course, as the IP holder, Square Enix didn't get all that money. I get it, because they didn't make the movie or whatever. But they would earn royalties on that forever. But now that because they've sold the IP, they won't own any royalties ever. They're not just giving up the immediate, they're giving up the future as well. Really is a shame. Legacy of Kain was one of my favorite games. Yeah, I didn't talk much about Legacy of Kain because I don't know anything about it. I never played it. So, I know about Tomb Raider, I know about Deus Ex. So... But I hope PlayStation, for example, come along and just buy Square Enix and save them from themselves. So, like, I was half expecting PlayStation to buy Square Enix and the Tomb Raider IP, because then they would own both Uncharted and Tomb Raider. They would own, like, the 3D platforming space, basically. As much as possible away from Nintendo. So that's never going to happen now, because PlayStation will never buy Embracer Group. They can't afford it. They can't afford to take over such a massive company. Embracer Group, like, I think Xbox would struggle to take over Embracer Group. Especially now that, because Xbox has become so huge, like, the competition Watch Dogs will probably block Microsoft buying Embracer Group. Yeah, I mean, I hope they actually release good games. They need to just, in my opinion, they have to stop doing things which piss people off, piss gamers off, because gamers are their customers. So, releasing rules like you can't stream the ending, or we're going to focus on NFTs and blockchain. It's like, that's a way to alienate your customer base. Stop it. Just make great games. Give the people what they want. Because I've said it time and time again, I would have played Stranger of Paradise if they didn't have that rule in. The you can't stream the ending rule. I was ready, even if they didn't give me a copy for free. Like, I'm okay with that. I would have flippin' bought the game. But because they put that rule in, that's the reason I didn't play Stranger Paradise. Anyway, let me quickly go to the bathroom and then we'll start the 6.1 story. Yeah. What is MP used for? Yeah, for giveaways. So what happens is, the more you watch the stream, you're always earning MP every minute. The more if you're subbed. And then when I do giveaways, you use your MP to enter the giveaways. So you could be a non-sub for years and build up lots of MP, and you'll have more chance to win than subs. There's no such thing as sub-only giveaways. It's just down to your MP amount. So it's to reward loyalty in the stream for people who've been watching for a long time. Of course, the reason I give the 10,000 bonus for my YouTube subscribers is because simply it's what I do. So, alright, chat. I'm going to start the 6.1 story. So, recording in 3, 2, 1. And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be starting the patch 6.1 story in Final Fantasy XIV. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So we are here in the Rising Stones, and we need to talk to Tataru. So the quest is called Newfound Adventure. Tataru is putting on a pot of tea and looks in need of company. Mithrie, how lovely to see you. If you're not in too much of a rush, I was about to make a pot of tea. Would you like a cup? Take a seat then, and I'll find us something to nibble on as well.
It's so much quieter these days without everyone around.
I mean, you kicked them all out.
Not that I'm pining for your return, you understand. I have my sources, and I know that each and every one of you is doing well and keeping busy with your endeavors. Meanwhile, I'm left with a surplus of free time and the question of how to make the most of it. What about you? Any plans for the immediate future?
On 10. Brand new adventure, of course.
Traveling to the edge of existence and back wasn't enough? Well, if that's the case, I might have a suggestion for you. You've fought bravely and selflessly, helping those in need and saving our star from unimaginable threats. For your deeds, you've been hailed as the champion of Eorzea and a host of other incredible things. But
sorry, click too soon.
put yourself as a simple adventurer again and travel the world in search of wonder.
You're right. Who knows what mysteries are still to be discovered?
Oh, that's the spirit. I can feel from here the blazing fire that just lit in your belly. Now, all you need is a destination. If you're having trouble deciding, just leave it to me. Thavnair, that's where you should go next. I doubt you were able to squeeze in a proper tour of Radzat the last time you were there. What with the burning skies and rampaging monsters and so forth. And I'm sure Vritra would be pleased to see you. Then there's the bounty itself. The Empire's presence in the region was always a deterrent to exploration. So if you've a mind to sail that sea, now's your chance. Just think of all the new experiences you could have.
Tell me, have you been to the ruins beneath the waters of the Bounty?
As the bearer of Azem's crystal, you may consider your duty to see at least that much.
Oh, I know that look. That's an adventurer ready to take on the world. In anticipation of an occasion like this, I was planning to gift you a new set of traveling clothes, but it's still a work in progress. Shouldn't take much longer now though, so sit tight and I'll have the last few bits sewn up before you can finish another cup of tea.
You're the best, Ataru. Make sure it has pockets.
Stitch in here and trim in there. Knot the threads with love and care. Just a little more to go. I'm sure you're still brimming with excitement. I'm one with the needle. See how the fabric surrenders to my whims. Don't worry. I'll make sure the lining has plenty of pockets for all your little treasures. I swear adventurers are worse than children when it comes to hoarding every feather and leaf and animal hide they come across. Oh, we mustn't forget the waterproofing. Gods forbid you forget to disrobe before plunging into the sea, or a river, or a piping hot bath.
That's Xenos, I'm going to be really upset.
Ah, you're awake. My apologies. I do get a little carried away with my sewing. You seem awfully cheerful. Pleasant dream? Or are you just looking forward to the next chapter of your grand saga? Either way, I promise to provide you with new apparel, and so I shall. If you'll accompany me to the Diamond Forge, we can put the finishing touches on your outfit. Shall we?
Alright. Okay, so we have to go to the Diamond Forge. So, let's go. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't fall asleep when crafting. I used to love crafting in this game. Do it for hours. There was a time in my life where I would wake up, craft, go to bed, wake up, craft, go to bed. Hey Ian, how you doing? Everyone, you get a chance, check FC slot chest too. Okay, let me look. I'll do it now. I don't have to think about it. Tired, have a headache? Uh-oh. What day is it today? Like, do you have work today? You do? Okay. Where did the FC chest go? There it is. 2. Wait, what am I looking for? It's Labor Day in my country. Cool. Yeah, 1st and 2nd of May. The green gear. Oh. Okay. It shows what I know. I mean, oh wow. I thank you. Duh, yeah. No, I thought it was like a minion or something. That's what I was looking for. Even it's got random names on it, did you like just buy it from the market board? Minions are under 4. Okay. Oh, that's the point, actually. I should now be able to see which minions I have and don't have. Okay, there's no minions in number 4. Number 3. Okay, tick, 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 tick. Okay, I don't have this one. Don't have that one. Don't have that one. Don't have that one. I don't have that one. Don't have that one. Okay, let me check the orchestral rolls. Okay, don't have that. Yeah, let me just rob the chest. That one. Free slots in the inventory, got that. Don't have that. That. Let me all these material I'm going to put in the FC chest. That alpha is a tabletop, not a minion. Oh, really? Okay. I'll check again. Is there anything else you guys want from my inventory? Sorry. Let me, let's make it an even 10 mil. So 4,765,000. There you go. FC Chess has got 10 million in it now. Okay. Like that. One of those. Sorry. A tui. That reminds me, I probably should go shopping now that I can actually see which minions I need. The tick system. Okay. I definitely need to clean my bags. But let's see what I can learn. There's a couple of materia there. I'll put those in the bag as well. Of alpha. Okay. Okay. I'll put that here then. Then there, there, put the incomplete ones. Isn't it usually from the Calamity Salvager? I don't know, I haven't touched crafting in ages. Literally that many bag space. Whip. Legs. I mean, all this tank gear is for the other tanks, isn't it? Gloves. 84 gloves. 1. Chest piece. 1. I mean, 71 I probably can get rid of. Because I think all my tanks are 80.
Subscription received.
Thanks for the sub, I really appreciate that. More donor. Ah. Earrings are full. Then, yeah, probably should get rid of these. Oh, there we go. I'm now level 580. Yeah. You see Mithrie's pretty face. Alright. Let's go shopping. Oh, they still haven't fixed the housing lottery system, have they? How many minions do I have? Let's take a look. 261. Okay. Is there a way to actually filter to say all the ones I don't have without having to look at the tick system? But yeah, the tick system, it really makes it flippin' obvious, doesn't it? Which ones I have and don't have. Okay, thank God they added this in. Tick, 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 tick. Oh, this one. Okay, let me buy that. This one. That. So at least I don't have to look them up one at a time. This one. I'm sure I'm being royally ripped off with some of them. If there's any which are like 10 million, I'm obviously not going to buy it. The top right one. Ah, really? Okay, there you go. So these are all the ones I don't have. Oh, that makes life a lot easier. Have to go clean my room. Or Aid. I'll catch you later. Alright, have a good one. In my bar. Alright, here we go. Minions. I care more about minions than about, like, mounts even. Oh, Jesus. There's a lot I don't have. Jesus Christ. Alright. Let's get that one. $300k. Whatever. It's just money. Money can be replaced. 13 million? No, thank you. $14. Okay, forget that one. Why are those ones worth so much money? It's a rare Eureka minion. Okay. I lost where I am, so let me just learn all these. Like, if I happen to get it from Eureka, then I'll get it, but I won't spend 14 million on it. That's ridiculous. Worth H2. So these two are worth like 20 million. 700k. So where's this one from? Million. 200k. Okay, I'll buy this one. 100k. 9 million. Nope. 400k. Yeah, I'll think about it. 300k. Yeah, think about it. 1.5 million. Nope. 250k. Okay, I'll get that. I mean, technically, I could afford to buy all of them, but I don't really want to bankrupt myself to just get a few minions, you know what I mean? And boss of the Eureka raid. Okay, so it's all the Eureka ones, basically, which are pain in the ass. Oh, I have all these. Oh, I really shouldn't do it on tank. Let me do it on, like, red mage or something. It would be a waste to do on tank. Okay. The minion. Okay, shall we go to the bottom of the list? 2 million? Nope. 700k? Nope. 5 million? Nope. 290k. Okay, I'll pay 290k. 600k? Nope. 400k? Nope. 86k? Yep. Like that. Wouldn't surprise me if I buy one of them, it's worth like 2 gil, and I get it for like 100. Red mage, ew. I know. 75k. When one person is selling like 5 of them, I'm going to assume I just bought a vendor flipper minion. Okay. Minion. I know that, like, mounts are crazy expensive. Um, 300k. Where do I get these wind-up Omegas, given there's only a couple of them for sale and they're not even that expensive? $150k. That's one I just bought, isn't it? Bacon bits. Nope. Marquite. Yep, like that. Savage. Okay. Okay. Nope. 200k for this little guy. Fine. $300k. Eh. 100k. 5k. $2 million. Nope. 200k. Okay. Okay. This is what Mr. Beast must feel like in real life. I'll buy that for 69k. Well. This one, Sand Fox. 12 million. Yeah, no. 23k. $4k. Million, nope. 44k. Rippy. 2.5 million, nope. Golden Beaver, 15 million, nope. Strike, 17k, I'll get it. Save the Princess. Fine. Anteater, 12 million, nope. So basically, I can't afford to buy every single minion. Because some of the prices are just astronomical. Though, to be honest, I've not tried to make Gil for like 3 expansions now. Already own 3 houses, so... I already have that one. Flag. From 400k, nope. Hit up Anima, nope. Briange, nope. 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 I think 400k is probably my drop-off point. I'm guessing that every minion I don't have now is 400k plus. Let's see. F and M are from Clio. Okay. So are they like stupidly cheap to easy to get? FC chat. Have a look. Silver certificate for each of the minions. Ah, okay. Let's take a look. Do I have any? I don't have any. Two lines in the book. Okay. Okay, so now if I check minions, like all of them should be 400k plus, the ones that are left. So yeah, 14 million, nope. 14 million, nope. That's 28. 700k, 29 million. 30 million. 39 million. Then these two is about 40 million. 40 and a half. So 41 and a half. 42 million. 42 and a half. Say 43 million. Say 43 and a half. Say, let's say 45 million. This one I can afford. $57 million. 61 million. 63 million. 78 million. 90 million. 91 million. Say 92 million. 3 million, let's say. The 3.5. 4 million. Say 95.5. 100 million. 100.5 million. Say 101 million. That last one. So I would need about 103 million gil to buy all of them. So yeah. No. Not gonna happen, bub. Yeah, it's not important right now. It's not a priority. But let me see how many minions I have now. I've got exactly 300. There you go. At least I got 300. And I need 100 million to get the last amount. Then let's see. So this is the Bardings, right? God, there's a lot of Bardings. Jesus Christ. And dances. I'm guessing these are like pixie wings. Is this like an outfit? Pixie wings? Minions. Sorry, this is mounts. 35 million. Okay. Then airship components, orchestral components. Okay, so there's a lot of orchestral roles I don't have. Yeah, there's a lot. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'll worry about orchestral roles another time, I think. But there's so flippin' many. Check mounts. Which one is mounts? Let's take a look. Minions. I think they've put them all together, like the Bardings, the mounts, so on. Like the flying chair, for example, 120k. The dodo horn, 5 million. The magic bed, 1 million. Okay, whatever. Let's get that. And then these pixie wings. How do I equip them? The fashion accessories. Gain access to a fashion accessory. To use it, first select fashion accessory from character from the main menu. And then equip it. Okay, there you go. So, fashion accessory from the main menu. Character, main menu, fashion accessories. Yep, that seems about right. Is there any other... Can you, equip more than one fashion accessory? And you got the umbrellas as well. Yeah. And then these are the different dances, right? Archangel wings. Oh, Jesus. I mean, it would actually make sense for me to have wings, wouldn't it? 58F, I forgot that. Because the FC tag is literally angel. So... oh, I need to learn it first. I drag up to the hotbar. There we go. Arrgh. No, we're angels that can't fly. How about that? So yeah. Alright. I think that's enough shopping for now. I dropped like 10 million gil. Whoops. Hydrate. Okay. Fallen wings are expensive because you have to grind for them. Okay. Ugh. Cool. Are those the wings, Joshua? Are those the fallen angel ones? Or these are 58 million ones? Okay, so you can't, like, keep them equipped in combat or anything. You can only... when you're going around and stuff. You can't even mount up with them on? That sucks. Yeah. There we go. Fallen Angel are 500 Bicolor gemstone vouchers, which cost 100 fate gems each. Oh, Jesus. And how do you get fate gems? I mean, I guess there's no point if I can't all the time have it on. Like, I was hoping that I could have it on all the time. When I'm going out and about, and I'm mounting up and I'm riding around and stuff like that. But the fact you can't even use it in combat, I guess you only use it for, like, pictures. The share fates. Oh, those gems. Okay. Are these fair-shaped gems? Hang on a minute. So you need 500 gemstone vouchers, which cost 100 fate gems each. Well, so you'll need like 50,000 gemstones? How many fates do you have to do? But yeah, at least I increased my minion collection to 300. Let's see, you have to get all the areas to rank 3 to unlock the vendor which sells them. Okay. Which shouldn't take too long, really, because we only have 2 zones left. Being Labyrinthos and Ultima Full. And I'll do them when I'm leveling another character. Okay, for now, let's carry on the story of 6.1. Yeah, whoops, I dropped 10 million gil. How about that? I might actually have to make, like, grind gil again. All this time. But yeah, Joshua, thank you for the gear. At least. So 580, does that mean I can, like, enter all the latest dungeons and stuff? And the latest raids? Sure. Nope. Anyway. There is 2 quests for 6.0. I mean, yeah, I understand the, like, prerequisites, but, like, in terms of just item level, is it enough? Yeah. You can buy the vouchers off the market board, last I checked, for about 40k each. Oh, wow. So, either way, you're going to need like 40 million or whatever to get all of them. But that will save you the grinding, right? It's 575, I think, for the minimum. Okay, so because I'm 580, I qualify. I don't really spend too much time on like materia these days because the gear is replaced so quickly. There's also a mouth for 500 vouchers. Okay. For now then, let's carry on the 6.1 story. Okay, so recording in... Actually, let me change my pose. Okay, so recording in 3, 2... Hang on. Sorry, I had to burp. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we caught up with Tataru, and I've got some new accessories. So, let's talk to her. So, observe as the artiste refines her piece into a masterpiece. And no napping this time, I only need a moment, you'll see. A little more room in the shoulders, open up the cuffs, a final adjustment to the hem. All done. Let's see how it looks on the mannequin. Well, what do you think? Doesn't it just scream ready for a bold new adventure? Sit. I'm so glad you approve. You've outdone yourself, Tataru, thank you. Oh, stop. You'll make me blush. If you really want to thank me, though, all I ask is that you wear this on your travels. Or at least anywhere lots of adventurers might gather. The look at you, a famous hero, wonder. Whatever did she purchase those style yet practical garments? And before you know it, hordes of new customers will be climbing over each other to place orders at Taru's boutique. I can hear it now, the merry clink-clink of gil overflowing from my coffers. Sweet music to my ears. Cool. That's complete. So, burgeoning merchant empires aside, you must be excited to start a fresh chapter of your life. Next places to go, new people to meet. I often wonder how you remember all of your experience and exploits without taking at least a few notes. Or I have all my videos on my YouTube channel. Oh, maybe you should start by doing your SAT. You never know when some odd past detail might become relevant. Or one day you'll take a blow to the head and forget the better part of the past decade. Something to keep in mind in any case. Next expanded, the Unending Codex. Oh, cool. So, we have access now to the Unending Codex. I guess this is a written record of everything that's been going on. Interesting. So the Unending Codex is now available under Collection in the Duty section of the main menu. New entries from prominent terms and characters will be added to the Codex as you progress through the main scenario quests. Cool. Alright. Next quest is called Bountiful Ruins. Tataru has some advice to share with you. As the former receptionist and sometimes intelligence gatherer of the Scions, allow me to offer you a word of advice. Do not expect you to see rumours to simply fall into your lap. Adventurers rely on gossip, and the best place to pick up information are taverns and markets. At present, you only have a broad destination in mind. When you arrive in Favnir, I suggest you explore your options at Mithri's Mehyain, the finest drinking establishment in Radzahan. Charm the employees, and they'll not only point you in the direction of the local tale tellers, but also share with you the tricks for loosening their tongues. Now, I really must be getting back to running my boutique. Enjoy the journey, Mithrie, and may fortune find you. Fair enough. Alright, let's go to Mehyain's Mehyain. Alright. Bountiful Ruins. $88K at the moment. Wow. Okay, let's go to Radzahan. So the Dragon Song Ultimate was beaten finally. Oh, cool. How long did that take? Like a week? The rush to the dentist office, and why I abruptly left. I almost forgot. Oh, took 6 days. So while you were gone, Joshua gave me like a new outfit completely. I dropped like 10 million gil of minions, and I bought this accessory. You know, to go with the angel theme. But because you weren't here, I dropped 10 million gil, Mum. It's your fault. I'm starting the 6.1 story. Alright. Let's carry on. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we caught up with Mithrie. Welcome to Mahid's Mehyain. Oh, hello. I did not recognize you at first. Are you here alone? Let me find you a table. Ruins beneath the bounty. Would you be speaking of the Sunken Treasure Vault? We have one regular, a historian, in fact, who could tell you all about it. Ah, there he is, Professor Jalheen. I thought I saw him come in. Although a somewhat private sort, the Professor is quick to befriend those who share his fondness for the Mehyain's unique beverages. Offer him any drink from our selection, and he should be happy to share everything he knows about the vault you seek, and a few other odd bits besides. Whatever you buy for him is on the house, by the way. If Mithrie found out I took coin from Favnir's savior, she would have me scrubbing pots for a week. Alright. So let's talk to this person. It's Jalheen. Yeah. The following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any duty registrations. And what may I do for you, my Eorzean friend? I want to ask you about the Sunken Vault in the Bounty. Friendly chat about a drink. It's straight to the point. I don't even know who you are. And where did you hear such a thing? I suppose I could tell you about it, except the tale is rather long and my throat is very dry. One of your cheapest booze, please. We're on a budget. Here we are, one of Mithri's finest. Enjoy. Ah, lovely. Buttons up. Jalheen empties the cup in a single pull. Now, where to begin? Might I assume that you've heard of Al-Zadal? He was Khan of the Ori tribe which sailed to Favnir from the mainland, and a key figure in the history of Radzahan. His decision to aid the Arkasodra is what ultimately won them the war against the Gajasura, thus allowing our predecessors to lay the foundation for this thriving city-state. The truly fascinating stories, however, concern his grandson, Al-Zaldal III, who was known for his deeds as satrap in Radzahan's early days. Some attest that this man travelled to another world entirely, and returned with glittering riches. Others that he brokered an alliance with a certain worm of the first brood. Then there is the tale of the Sunken Vault, the one you seem most curious about. According to this legend, Al-Zadal III claimed a small island somewhere in the middle of the Bounty. There he built a structure reaching clear to the bottom of the sea, a deep and secret storehouse, and locked all his worldly wealth within. In the centuries since, whenever a natural disaster or hardship befell Radzahan, folk would remember that tale of hidden treasure. Hearty souls would set out to claim their fortune, but precious few ever made it home. Would you like to hear more? Apologies, I have a slight tickle in my... Oh, my cup appears to be empty. Off-hit wink. Italy, another round for the professor? Ah, I see we've reached an understanding. You're a sharp one, adventurer. Another for the professor. Ho, today was a splendid day to visit the Mahane. Jalheen gulps down his newest drink with gusto. Where were we? Ah, yes. Those who did return from seeking the treasure vault refused. I mean, flatly refused to speak of what they saw. Did they discourage others? Nay, quite the opposite. Such accounts only served to feed the legend, and the golden lure grew stronger than ever before. That reminds me of something Azem was saying. Azama, a fellow connoisseur of spirituous potables. Yes, he is. Anyway, he was saying that one of his acquaintances went after the treasure himself. Hasn't been seen since he set sail, I hear. But he did have... no, I can say no more. You seem a generous sort. What kind of man would I be to encourage what is clearly a foolhardy quest? If my word sent you to your death, I could never live with myself. No stranger to peril. I think I've heard enough. I like chaos. Is that so? Perhaps it's your turn to tell a tale, then. What matters of dangers have you faced? At the very edge of existence. From anyone else, I'd struggle to believe it, but I recognize you now. You're the hero of the final days. A drink. I need another drink to settle my nerves. Mithrie, more of the same, if you please. As you wish, but this one is on your coin, Professor. So Jacqueline drains yet another cup dry. That was his third cup. Yeah, Mithrie doesn't approve. Anyway, you being who you are, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to share a little more. This friend of Azama's, he was desperate to buy a treasure map. One which showed the way to entrench the vault. Seems that he could only get it from some merchant. What's his name? But I forgot. Let's drink a toast to you, my new bestest friend. 3 more drinks. Signal for water instead. Sir. Your drink, sir? Ah, marvelous. I am parched. Jitting gulps down the cup of water. That was water. Did you tell her to bring me water? Still, that's probably for the best. Very kind of you, really. My head will certainly thank you in the morning. I seem to have overindulged. I am put in mind of the words of Master Jalzane. Be wary how much of the drink you swallow, lest you swallow you. Forgive me, I shall subject you to no more of these unseemly antics. If you want to speak with Azama, well, as I said, we share a taste for the Mahine's fine spirits. He's probably came in as we were talking. I wish you fortune in finding your fortune. You appear to have learned all that Jalheen has to share regarding the undersea vault. To find out more, you'll need to locate a man by the name of Azama. Oh. Alright, let's see if we can find Azama. There he is. Conveniently, he's got a nameplate floating right above him. Yes, I am Azama. Who might you be? Your worst nightmare. Ah, all true, I'm afraid. My friend took his ship out in search of Azaldal's legacy, and I've been watching for his sails ever since. I tried to dissuade him, of course, but he refused to listen. All he could do was talk about finding that vault, and that look in his eyes. I knew it wasn't common gold or jewels he lusted after. He was hunting Azadal III's otherworldly horde, and his ambition would not be denied. I see it in you too, that appetite for the mysterious and the unknown. But I'll not attempt to turn you from your path. I know too well the futility of that endeavor. So I will tell you what my friend told me, how he convinced a merchant in the bazaar to give him the rough location of the vault's entrance. It seems that this merchant, one Zhao, I believe, is selling a map which shows the exact route. But my friend's purse was too light for its exorbitant price. What with meager wealth he had, he instead paid to learn that there are ruins on a small island somewhere in the bounty, and within those ruins hides a path to the vault deep below. If you truly intend on seeking Azadal's treasure, I suggest that you put your affairs in order. I wish things were different, but I do not believe my friend is ever coming home. Fair enough.
Please, Ashal, please! You must let me have that treasure map!
What's all this about?
My mother and father were slaughtered by monsters. My baby sister, still too young to fend for herself. Can you spare us no kindness?
So, you hope to find your fortune? And what? You expect me to surrender my wares for pity's sake? What have you to offer in payment? As I thought. Come back when you've more than rags to your name. This is no mere treasure map. It is a guide to the vaults of Arzadal III, one of the great satraps of Radzat Han, and a direct descendant of Alzadal Khan.
A map to Alzadal's legacy?
So he says. A fake, I'd wager.
This is no fake. The parchment is marked with an arcane glyph of passage. You may find the ruins hidden in the Bounty, but you won't be setting foot inside without this in your possession. A priceless artifact it is, discovered amongst the rubble in the aftermath of the final days, and lovingly restored by yours truly. This map is the key to fabulous riches, and I'll be the king of fools to simply give it away. Be glad I am no such king, boy. Your scrawny-eyed had never return with that treasure alive.
Oh, cruel fate! Why must you tempt me with wealth I am powerless to claim? How I shall envy the one who purchases that precious map! Whatever they pay will be but pittance against the golden hoard they stand to uncover.
It's all a ruse. Get me to buy it. Hello.
What of you, sir? Fighting man of your stature would surely relish the challenge of recovering Alzadal's lost fortune.
A fortune, you say?
If I had but the strength to seize that treasure, my starving sister would never want for food.
I'll take it. Will this cover the price? Well met, my friend. Someone is dressed for adventure. But why Favner of all places? Knowing you, I suspect there's more to your plans than sightseeing and shopping. Ruins beneath the Bounty. Curious. And here I've acquired a map to just such a site.
With that sale, I do believe I've earned the rest of the day off. Thank you for your patronage, sir, but if you'll excuse me.
You needn't mind us.
And now I fleece one of the heroes of the final days.
Pray the sisters were looking elsewhere.
This map may or may not be genuine. Either way, we'll need a ship to find out for sure.
Well, you seem eager to be on the way. I never took you for a treasure hunt.
Lest you misunderstand, I seek the treasure not for myself. If such a fortune truly exists, then it could help ease the struggles of those who lost their loved ones in the final days. I hope to do for Thavnir what you and Alphino did for the Alamegans when you recovered the Mad King's trove. Come now. You know Alphino needs little encouragement when it comes to recounting the tales of your shared exploits. Speaking of precocious lads, that boy in the bazaar was clearly an accomplice of the merchant. Suppose his role was to draw the attention of the crowd and add weight to the merchant's bold claims. Transparent act for the most part. It was not all mummery. The need to provide for his sister rang true enough. Thus, if some portion of the profits end up in that waif's pockets, then I will consider it money well spent, whether the map leads us to the vault or not. You are coming along, yes?
If I have to. Sure.
I thought as much. Now, let's see about securing a vessel.
Okay, let's talk to Estinian. So, you will recall I spoke of visiting Thavnir at Vitra's request. Well, he finally invited me to a feast, and made his proposal once I was too full of Hannish delights to refuse. He wishes me to train the Radiant Host in lance work, but that is a tale for another time. What we need now is a merchant or a trawler with a ship fit for the open sea. Matsya is a fisherman of the trade, yes. We should head to Akali and see if they can help us. Okay, so let's head there. Okay, stop recording. Part 2. Shall I assume that this vault is a dungeon? Okay, we recorded for 33 minutes. It is, okay. At least we already spent the time to unlock flying in every zone. It's good. Hey man, how you doing? Just starting the 6.1 story. I was going to say, is there much to do until the dungeon? Or is it just like a couple more quests? But you've got a small bit till you get there. Okay, let me see if I can find the quest list. 14... 6.1... main story quests. Yeah, see, there's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 10 quests. This is a bad guide. It doesn't say which one is the dungeon. Obviously, Alliance Raid. Oh, okay, so this quest will unlock the dungeon. And then there's 5 will unlock the Alliance Raid. Fair enough. No, you're practically there. Okay. Yeah, I see that on the list. But, yeah. Man, did you hear about the Square Enix sale? The news from this morning. I had a big rant about it earlier. Anyway, recording in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we made it here, so let's talk to Matsuya. My friends, what brings you to our humble village? So you need a seaworthy vessel to seek these ruins. Considering it was your deeds which allowed us to return to fishing, I should think everyone would be glad for a chance to repay the favor. Wait here, and I will have a bow stocked and ready for you in no time at all. Have you noticed our little shadow? He's been following us since we left the sea. We see you there, boy. Show yourself. Ah, it is you. Do you know how far out of our way we walked so that you not cross paths with some wild beast? I'm sorry, sir, but aren't you the heroes who saved Nafnir? You are. I know you are. And I've gone and cheated you. I work with Zahal, you see, the map merchant. It is my job to play the pleading orphan and convince the crowd his wares are worth the price he asks. I'm ashamed of what I've done, and I beg for your forgiveness. If not for you, then for my sister. And I would never have, well, we'd be... Enough. I knew your game, and I paid the price willingly. A fortunate purchase, as it turns out, for my friend here was seeking those very ruins. You are kind to overlook the wrong I have done. But there is more you need to know. The map that you bought is very real, as the island it shows. I overheard Zahal selling the information to another customer. He told the man where he needed to search, about the ruins, about the vault, about everything. Then the man sailed out to find his fortune, never to return. You cannot go alone to that place. You should have more friends with you, maybe even a whole army. Do not doubt that the ruins hold danger, but I assure you, between the two of us, there is little we cannot overcome. Please, I cannot bear the thought of... We could invite our comrades. We might need a hand moving the treasure. Now you've gone and made him cry. That we could, and assuming that we do find this treasure hoard, it may prove wise to have more hands along for the carrying. Any idea on whom to approach? The Scions have scattered far and wide since our last gathering. Angry to you, Yonche, the twins, Grahati and Kryl, and Yashtola. Let's get Yashtola. Need a caster. Stola? A Magix would be a welcome addition, aye, but I am loath to interrupt her research. Maybe we could ask a less prickly companion? The twins? At least one of them is a healer. Little Lord Alphanode and his sister, were they not bound for Garlemald? They have far more important matters to attend to than delving for trinkets. Is there basically a reason to not get any of them? Aye, Kryl might have hands full rebuilding the students, but if you reach out to Graha, we'll surely leave at the invitation. Will that set your mind at ease? Yes, if that man is as strong as you. Is he though strong, I mean? What's your name, boy? Mahrad, sir. Well, Mahrad, your life is yours to live as you will. But I suggest that you find a more honest trade if you truly wish to keep your sister safe. I'm not proud of what I do. But what choice do I have? We need to eat. And everyone's too busy rebuilding their own lives to bother with two grubby orphans. Wait, boy. I didn't take this roundabout road just to see you end up in some creature's belly. Let me walk you back to the city gates. Thank you, sir. Call me Estinian. Fair enough. Okay. Next quest. It's called Friends for the Road. Estinian is ready to escort Mahrad to safety. I shall leave you to recruit Graha. You'll appreciate the invitation that much more, I'm sure. As I recall, he was based at the Annex. Someone there ought to be able to point you in the right direction. Let's be off to Maryad. Do me a favor and do not stray from the path. Okay. Alright, so we have to go back to Charlie and to the Annex, so let's see if we can find Graha. Okay, stop recording. Let's see, friends for the road. Art board. Okay, let me read what you said, man. Yeah, I saw your tweet and saw your video this morning about it. That's crazy that they just sell it off like that. I guess that they felt that they wouldn't be able to do much with them in the near future. I'm concerned about the future of those IPs. Yeah, I mean, let's say they put it up to bounty. They said, we want to sell Tomb Raider to the highest bidder. I'm sure a lot of companies would have bid on it. PlayStation probably would have bid, maybe even Xbox would have bid, and lots of companies in between. But them just selling it, I think they probably just took the first deal that was available to them. And regardless of excuse, you know, because Square Enix said, oh, we want to concentrate on Japanese games, we don't want to do Western games anymore. You know, I think that's an excuse, personally. I think they are strapped for cash. So, I think it's a terrible deal. Absolutely terrible. And we looked at the share price earlier on, a couple of hours ago. Looked at Square Enix's share price, it barely moved. We looked at Embracer's share price, and Embracer's share price is like... So, they got a really good deal. Now, Embracer own 120 studios, so to them it's nothing. It's like 300 million is like loose change. They've got assets in the tens of billions. So, yeah. But, I think it was a terrible deal from Square Enix's part. I think it weakened Square Enix as a company. I really do. I think it's a big risk, and it wasn't worth it. Like I said, if I owned Tomb Raider, I never would sell it. I would rather go bankrupt and have it be part of the bankruptcy, like, let's say, sell-off, than to actually sell it when I don't need to. It's so difficult to get IPs like that in your possession. And once they release it, they'll never get it back. So... And Embracer's too big to be bought out. I think even Microsoft would struggle to buy out Embracer. So... But we'll see. In the what the future has to hold. But yeah, when I saw it, I was like, this is a terrible deal. Terrible. Because people are making fun of Square Enix. From, if you read the trending tab on Twitter, like, people are saying, don't worry, they are still keeping Just Cause, Outriders, and Life is Strange. Those weren't included in the deal. Because no one wants them. So, like, Life is Strange is pretty cool, but Outriders was, as far as I'm concerned, a flop. And so was, what's it called? Just Cause. And basically, they are selling off Crystal Dynamics, which again is a mistake, because Crystal Dynamics have made what? Tomb Raider, and I think they were the people behind the, what's it called? Forspoken in June? I thought Forspoken is in October. Yeah, Forspoken is not really a problem because that's made up of people that made Final Fantasy XV. Hitman. I mean, Hitman broke off from Square Enix ages ago. Because that's what they called. Square Enix actually dumped them. But now they're an independent studio. Is it IO Interactive? When Square Enix dumped IO, they called it Squexit. You know, a play on Brexit. So yeah, I do think it's a mistake. I really do. Now, if they got like $1 or $2 billion for it, I'll be like, well, you know, at least they got lots of money for the sale. But 300 million, when companies these days are being bought out for billions and billions, that's, like I said, that's from Embracer's part. That's a really, really good deal. Like, Embracer have got a bargain of a lifetime. From Square Enix's part, they have cash, which apparently is going to go to Ford's, like I said, blockchain. So they might as well take the money and burn it. So, and if PlayStation or any of these companies take over Square Enix, I want it to be on the terms of Square Enix make amazing games, therefore they're a valuable asset to these companies, not as a flippant bailout. You know, it's like, because like PlayStation owned the IP, for example, to Death Stranding. That was to help, probably, my guess would be to help Kojima to establish Kojima Productions to make his own studio, because he couldn't afford it otherwise. But in a way, that was a bailout. And in his case, that's okay, because he was establishing his own studio. But for Square Enix's part, a bailout after 20, 30 years of making games would be a disaster. So, like I said, I don't think 300 million is going to last long, not in this day and age. So, and I don't see them competing either, because you see all the Japanese game developers these days are saying like, oh, we're increasing our employee pay by 20%, 30% or whatever. Like, I don't think Square Enix is going to be able to compete with that. They don't have enough money. So, yeah. But, like I said, that's why I said in the gaming news today, I said we'll see what is next for Square Enix. But it's never too late for them to change their mind. Like, I know that the board of directors has already approved it, but they could turn around and stop it from happening. So there's so many steps that need to happen. Them green lighting it is not the end all. Like, the Activision Blizzard takeover from Microsoft is still happening, even after all these. It's been weeks or even months now. It hasn't happened yet. Let's see, 300 million is basically about 2 AAA titles. Yeah, and it's what I said in the gaming news as well. Is that the latest Tomb Raider movie generated 275 million at the box office on its own. That's just the latest movie. So, of course, that didn't go into Square Enix's pocket. Of course not. But the Tomb Raider IP is worth so much more than to just be roped in with all these things. Like they could have probably sold the Tomb Raider IP on its own for like $1 billion. So, because everybody in the West, I think, knows who Lara Croft is. Even non-gamers know who Lara Croft is. So owning the rights to Lara Croft is a big deal. It's like I would say that it's a bad deal on that alone, let alone everything else. So, like, in a way, I'm glad I am partnered with Square Enix, like, say, a couple of months ago now. But at the same time, I feel kind of bad for it because, I've been supporting Square since it was Squaresoft, literally, for a long time. The board is allowing it, but what about their investors? Yeah. That's why I sent out the tweet. Say, please block it. Please don't allow this sale to happen. It's such a bad deal. 300 mil for Tomb Raider. So, isn't it a bit worth? Is it 1 billion? Isn't 1 billion worth? So it isn't worth 1 billion, is what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, that's if they accept it for that much. It's the thing is like they are accepting such little money for it. So, like I said, it would be like I said. The comparison for me would be like if someone came to me and said, "Okay, look, I'm going to buy all of your YouTube channels for $5, and you go off and you just stand on the street corner." It's like, what do I possibly gain from it, from the situation? I don't gain anything. You're back helping a user with an issue? Yeah. So, but anyway, let's carry on this recording. So, recording in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that was a mistake. Let's do that again. Okay, recording in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we made it to the annex. So, oh look, who it is. Welcome back, Mithrie. What might the students do for you? I'm looking for Graha, please. Graha? Yes, he's in the main hall with Mistress Cryle. They've been holed up in there for days. By all means, go and give them an excuse to take a break.
Ah, Urgica, my good man. Would you be so kind as to...
Oh, isn't this a pleasant surprise?
I wish you had sent word ahead. I thought I was having visions for a moment there.
What are the two of you working on?
Raha and I have been compiling old records of the students' activities. We located several accounts in the archives of Numenon and added them to the collection we recovered from the Isle of Val.
And judging by the progress we've made thus far, sorting this pile will keep us occupied for days to come. But what brings you to the annex, my friend? Surely you haven't come all this way just to watch us shuffle dusty papers around? The treasure vault of Alzadal III.
And you're looking for companions to join you on this expedition. I would dearly love to accompany you, of course, but I'm afraid I'm committed to another task. On the subject of which, I had hoped to ask for your assistance.
Okay.
Then again, it's not so urgent that it can't wait until you've returned. You should go, Raha. I'll stay here and mind the shop, as it were.
Are you sure? I'd hate to leave you short-handed.
I'm sure. Just try to be back before too many moons have passed.
Well, I guess we're off on another adventure already. Have you asked anyone else to come along? Then might I suggest we invite your Stola?
Yeah, I tried already.
Ever since the Scions disbanded, she's spent most of her time cloistered within the Great Gooble Library, hoping to piece together a method to traverse the rift. It would seem, however, that whatever wisdom she sought there was not to be found. She arrived in Sharlayan the other day. We spoke briefly before she began her search of Numenon. Considering what you've told us of Alzadal's extraordinary feats, I do believe your Stola would be more than interested to hear what you have to say. Splendid! Then let us head to the archives at once.
Wait, before you go. I have another potential member to volunteer, if you've room to spare. Urianger. He sent the students a request for materials, you see. Treatises on the architecture of treasure vaults and the like. From what I can gather, the Loporrits are looking to make improvements to their own creation and wish to learn more about how we build things down here. So, why not take Urianger with you? Let him study Alzadal's legacy firsthand.
None can deny the benefit of seeing something with your own eyes. If our expedition leader has no objections, I say we extend Urianger an invitation once we've spoken with your Stola.
Safe travels, you two, but don't forget, I'd still like your help with that other matter I mentioned.
Right. Then it's off to the library.
Okay, so we need to grab Y'shtola and Urianger. Okay, so let's now grab Y'shtola from the library. Yeah, I'm surprised. Basically, we're probably going to just put the pieces of the Scions back together, aren't we? All that's left is the twins. Now, some people will have feelings about the Square Enix deal literally just for Deus Ex. And then some people will have feelings just for Legacy of Kain. And so on and so on. So the fact that all three of them were roped in with a couple of studios as well, actually 3 studios, 300 million, that's really, really cheap. If it was just the one IP for 300 million, you could argue that's a good deal. There's your Stoller. I'm finally caught up to other players doing the story, yeah? Alright. Let's record in 3, 2, 1. Okay, here's your Stoller. Asleep on some books.
I've never known your Stoller to doze off in the middle of research before.
Close my eyes for one moment.
Hello.
How long
Like
have
that.
you two been here?
About 47 seconds. Just arrived, didn't want to wake you. Catching up on some light reading.
Nor did I want to fall asleep. I must have been studying for 2-3 days straight before exhaustion finally claimed me. As you know, I've been researching ways to travel from the source to one of its reflections. Well, looking for hints at least. I don't expect to find a simple set of instructions tucked away in some dark corner of the library. So I've been skimming through the stacks, hoping to uncover even a partial mention of any similar feats in the past. A means to travel between worlds exists, and you can be sure I will find a way to employ it. So I promised Runar, but 'twould seem I've set myself a nigh impossible task.
You needn't be so hard on yourself. The leap I made with the Crystal Tower was not achieved in an afternoon. It was the culmination of a collective effort spanning generations.
Oh, you think me discouraged? I assure you, 'tis quite the opposite. A daunting challenge and the time to sink my teeth into it. I feel like a fresh-faced student again.
A scholar in her element.
Indeed. Was there something else you wished to ask of me? Alzadal is no minor figure in Harnish history, and much is known about his family. But this is the first I've heard of a descendant surviving a trip to another world. If those tales are true, then he may have left behind some clue as to how it was accomplished. An invitation to delve into one of the world's lingering mysteries. As if I could refuse. And whence do we embark upon this expedition?
Achiali, by ship. But before that, we thought to extend an invitation to Urianger as well. He was in Thalmazane, last we heard.
Then by all means, let us recruit him, and be on our way.
Alright. So let's go to there. And then let's see if we can get Urianger. Okay, stop recording. The part 6. I'm guessing, to be honest, we're probably not going to have time to do the dungeon today. Probably do it tomorrow. Start the stream. We've been going for 50 minutes already. E6 mobile with registration. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm playing State of Survival. I don't really have time for many other apps other than that. Oh yeah, thanks for that heads up. Where's Urianger? There he is. Urianger. Thou hast this is cometh with us, split us. Okay. Recording in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we caught up with Urianger.
Our illustrious champion. Cloaked in the mantle of the common explorer, fame set aside in thy pursuit of simple adventure. I am told a new expedition is in the offing.
'Tis good to see you as well.
And thee. As ever, thou art the picture of strength.
You've been keeping yourself busy, I trust?
True to our plan, Thancred and I embarked upon a pilgrimage of sorts, with an eye for gauging the state of those lands through which we passed. Our travels were interrupted, however, by a request for aid from our befurred lunar allies. As you may recall, the Loporrits had been seeking new purpose for the moon, another role through which it might serve to benefit mankind. The Forum hath been working to advise them in this endeavor, but I return to offer mine own counsel.
And this has what to do with treasure vaults, exactly?
You have learned of my predicament from Mistress Cryle. I know not whence they acquired such knowledge, but the Loporrits now stand convinced that adventurers delight in treasure hunts. Thus, with their newly built wonderland of riches and mystery, do they hope to entice all manner of daring delvers to the moon. So earnest and innocent was their desire to bring joy to the world that I found myself powerless to refuse them my cooperation. But what of you, my friends? Why are you come to Labyrinthos? Fascinating. This is indeed a most fortuitous opportunity. I should be honored to accept thine invitation. How long hath it been, I wonder, when last our actions were not impelled by fate or desperation?
Aye. Though I cherish the Scion's accomplishments, 'tis pleasant to not have the weight of the world upon our shoulders for a change.
Counting Estinian, we number 5 now, yes? Without knowing what traps or perils await unwary feet, we may be wise to refrain from recruiting others.
I agree. Between us, we should have the skills to handle whatever situation may arise. Shall we be on our way?
What, no time to spare a word for the grizzled old bard?
All is well, I trust?
A wasted trip, I'm afraid. I'd hoped to catch up with a former mentor while you parleyed with the rabbits, but it seems our paths were not to cross.
You're looking well.
That's because we didn't travel by experimental etherite. It's astounding what a lack of nausea does for one's sense of well-being. In any case, as we made our way around Ilzabard, we saw that much of the continent was in various stages of chaos.
Chaos.
A certain amount of disorder is to be expected. The final days are over, and the people no longer have a common threat binding them together. That's the thing with these fledgling troubles, eh? You need to keep an eye out, lest they mature into full-grown headaches. So, for what reason have so many esteemed personages seen fit to gather? Beneath the waters of the Bounty, you say? I see you've already stolen away my traveling partner with the promise of unexplored ruins and scholarly glory.
Nay, 'tis not for mine own indulgence, but rather the fulfillment of my commitment to the Loporrits.
Ah, of course. And if you have Estinian rounding out your group, you'll likely have all the members you need.
Feeling left out? I could put in a good word for you, if you like.
We may have been released from our obligations, but I'll never be free of that merciless wit of yours, will I? In all seriousness, 'tis best I sit this one out. Too many former scions consorting with one another might be seen as a cause for concern in certain quarters. I'll return to my usual reconnaissance and scout out the situation in the Far East. Feel free to share if you come across any interesting revelations. Till we meet again.
Shall we also hasten our departure? Sir Estinian will wonder what hath become of us.
Okay, so we need to catch up with Estinian. So let's go. Okay, stop recording. Well, we're nearly done with this quest, so then I will probably end it as soon as this quest is done and the dungeons are locked. Because, you know, back to the old routine that I finish at 7 now rather than waiting. But yeah, it was a good day. We got a hell of a lot done. I'll be honest though, like seeing headlines on Twitter which, let's say, make me react a lot, seems to be coming more and more often. It's like I almost like the trending tab on Twitter is what gets me over and over again. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Okay. So we caught up with them. Alright, let's record. So, recording in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we caught up with Vistinian, and all the members are here. So, I sent you to recruit Grahan. You return with an entire survey party. I hope Mastia's boat is sturdy enough to carry all of us. What he means is, we are grateful for the use of one of your precious fishing vessels. We are more than glad for the chance to provide it. I ask only that you take care to steer clear of the reefs in the shallows there. Aye, we will keep an eye out. Cool, that's complete. So, let's see. The next quest is called Azadal's Legacy. So Y'shtola is intrigued by the legend of Azadal III. Azadal III, I confess I am somewhat embarrassed of the tale of his journey to another world escaped my notice. Could it be more than simple folklore? And what of the treasure he supposedly brought back? His undersea vault may hold relics from another reflection. My friends, we should temper our expectations. The Mafdos promised ruins, but beyond what we know, not what we will find. Not until we find it, aye. So let us dispense with the conjecture and set sail for the vault. Azadal's Legacy is now accessible. Anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, and goodbye from Mithrie. Bye, guys. Yeah, I knew that the quest would be right at the beginning, so that's why I accepted it. Azadal's Legacy. Legacy. Okay. Azadal's Legacy. But yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. So yeah. What an experience. Yeah. Sorry. I just saw that the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy cost $200 million in development, and Guardians was considered underperforming, and Avengers is a fail. Almost most of the profit in 2021 was made in Japan. Fair enough. Oh, Jen, let me look out what's available for you. Mac and cheese. Ooh. Wrapped in chicken. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Alright, chat. I'm going to go for the day. We'll do this Azadal Legacy tomorrow, basically. So, yeah. I know that they probably felt a need to sell, but as just like I said, I just think they could have got more money. So, because Guardians of the Galaxy was a really good game. So, I hope you need it. Cool. Right, chat. I'm going to go for the day. At least we start at 6.1. And, yeah. So, we'll see what the news is tomorrow, basically. One more day till Doctor Strange 2. Ah. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen the original one before it. So, and I haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming either. Right, chat. Have a good day, good night, good evening, whatever you do. And I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. We'll carry on 6.1. Bye. Bye-bye. And Joshua, thank you for the outfit. Bye. Bye-bye-bye.